Accucare Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Brick, New Jersey offers a state-of-the-art facility with all the best and current treatments. With athletic trainers, massage therapists, and doctors of physical therapy, Accucare has everything you need to stay healthy and perform at the highest level. Cupping, stretching, laser therapy, compression boots, and a full-body cryo chamber are just some of what you can expect at Accucare. Check out their website and social media links in my bio. No prescription is needed to see them. So call them today and start feeling and performing at your best. Again, thank you to Accucare for sponsoring the Shore Football Report. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Accucare High School Football Preview Show, Monmouth County edition. Now, you're the first Monmouth County football school talking, so it's the Monmouth County edition presented by the Shore Football Report. Today, we will talk St. John Vianney Lacer football with head football coach, first-year head football coach, Jeff Papcun. Jeff, first of all, congratulations, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. Last year I watched it a lot, and now I can finally be on here. It's pretty exciting.
Well, I watched you a lot too from the sidelines, and I was telling your players earlier, because we did talk to them first. I knew you were going to be a head coach. It was just a matter of time and where you're at. I'm glad you're in a place where you want to be, and you're very thorough as a defensive coordinator. You were so thorough with your statistics and anything that I needed. I was like, I was in heaven, because I'm like that. I was like, wow, there's another dude out there. That's good. I like that. So, a credit to you, and we'll talk more about that stuff later on. But let's talk about the big news that happened 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago that I announced that I'm in partnership. Our sponsor is Accucare and Brick. Pam Anthony, the founder and owner, fantastic. And we have the same vision. Our athletes, she likes all the athletes to make sure that they have a place, a home, that they can, rehabilitate, recover, preventive injuries, the state-of-the-art equipment they have. I'm going to tell you right now, I get hurt after games. I'm going to be going there. For my
I might have to go there too. A little recovery, watching some Saturday college football. It's great to hear that, because that's what it's all about, and that's why we are head coaches. We're here to help these kids, and that's great that the community's trying to come out and help the kids too. So it's great to hear that this is a great sponsor.
Now, Coach, you were an assistant coach for a long time, but now you're the head coach. So you're going to get the phone calls a little bit more than hearing about the phone calls of a player that has a back injury or a stiffness in the legs or stuff like that. So now you have access to Accucare, that they could be your friend among friends and help you make sure those players, those student athletes, are ready to play during the season and all the games, and most importantly, practices. They don't miss practices, right?
Exactly. It's great to have them down there. We do have a couple kids from the Brick in the Ocean County area.
Yeah.
So to have them go down there, and obviously our Monmouth County kids too, to go down there, get recovery, to get better for the next Friday or next Saturday's game.
Yep. Everybody out there, make sure that you can log on to my site and click on the link, and it goes right to Accucare's website. And they just have state-of-the-art stuff. And, it's great to have people in high profession like Pam Anthony and Accucare on our side, because they're the up-and-coming business out there. They really are, with physical therapy. They really are. I'm excited. I am
No,
so
yeah,
excited.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And hopefully because of this, it opens up a new window for all PTs coming out and trying to help out the high school sports around this
Yeah.
area.
You're going to see a lot of Accucare this season with our product and out there. I just have a lot of big plans for her and her business, and of course, I'm very thankful for what they're doing for the Shore Football Report. Yep.
100%.
Coach, let's get into you now. Let's get into you because everybody's focused on this show. You know, they want to hear about Jeff Papcun, the new head football coach at St. John Vianney. Why is there so much excitement? Um, I know some of the answers. The players gave me some more feedback on you, but I want to hear the process. I mean, slow it down a little bit right now because everything's going 100 miles an hour. You are now the head football coach at St. John Vianney. Take us through when you first started coaching to where you are right now. I'd like to hear all the in betweens. I want to hear it. So I'm going
Yeah.
to kick back. I'm going to listen. I want to know more about your process getting to be a head coach. Go ahead.
So I first off, it's never about me. Obviously, it's always about my team, my kids, my program, my family. But a little bit about my background is in 2009, I graduated from Montclair State. And the first call I made was actually to Coach Bertuzzi at Raritan, seeing if there was any openings. And that's where I started 2010. I started as a volunteer with them over there, which was great because that's where I came from. I'm a Rocket through and through, besides when we play them this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so I started there. I started as a receiver coach. I was up top in the booth, which was great for me as a first year coach because I really got to see the field, which really helped me to where I'm at today. From there, I then got a call actually the next year from St. John Vianney from Coach Karlstrom looking for a receiver coach where I went over there for 2 years. I coached great receivers. I had Anthony Conti. I had Ishmael Hyman. Carlucci was our quarterback, so we had a great year that year. Those 2 years. From there, my college roommate then called me at Keensburg, which Jason Wambo is the offensive line coach over at Ocean right now and runs Asylum football down in Wall Township. So I went over there under Coach Damien, who's now actually at Raritan, the OC at Raritan. And I got the privilege of having 2 years of coaching over in Keensburg as the offensive coordinator over there. I jump ship a lot. My friends make fun of me because they say every 2 years I'm going to somewhere different. Actually, this is my first year being 3 years at
you ain't going nowhere, Coach. They're not letting you out of there. So go ahead.
I don't plan on going anywhere. So then after my 2-year stint over at Keensburg, I actually reached out to Coach Jimmy Portella at RBC after their fantastic year in 2014 when they won the state championship. And I actually went over to the defensive side for the first time in my career, pretty much as a player and a coach, because when I went to college, I might look like a left tackle now, but I played receiver in college. So he gave me the linebackers over there. I helped with the running backs, and that's truly where my inspiration to be a DC and to truly become a head coach came into play when I was under Coach Portella and Coach Ahern over there and watching them how they run a real championship program at RBC. From there, I had 1 year there, and then I actually got a call from my old head coach, Coach Sininski, who was my head coach at Raritan when he came over to St. John's to help out over there with the offense and coach receivers again. So I had the privilege to coach with my former coaches of Coach Nascimento, who's at Donovan Catholic, Coach Keith Rescroll, we all know him as Redbone. He's back over at Raritan. And then obviously Coach Sininski, who's not coaching anymore because he's watching his own kids at Southern.
I just bumped into him at Aldi's.
Oh, there you go.
We were in aisle 3 talking football. It was incredible. The ladies were yelling at us, "Do you mind? Do you mind?" But Derek and I were actually at Aldi's talking football. We bumped into each other. It was awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great coach, great guy. I loved him when I played for him. I loved coaching underneath him too because he's another one that I really learned from defensively and watched how he studied the game and watched how he picked apart little pieces of the offense to know what to do defensively. Because obviously football is like a chess match. You have to move your pieces in certain spots to make sure that you're winning. So that's something I learned from Coach Ski. 2 years there, Coach Ski left. Coach Martucci stepped in, and that's actually when I got the call from Coach Ahern Matt Ahern, who is now the Colts neck head coach, that he's starting over there and trying to build the program. And when I heard him and Coach Fortella were going to start that program over there, I couldn't say no, because it's going from one of my coaches to two great coaches and probably one of the better coaches in the Shore Conference right now, and what they build with that team over there in Colts neck. So I went back with them for 2 years.
Wait, Coach, you went from St. John Vianney to Colts Neck
Yeah, I went to St. John Vianney.
with Coach Ahern.
Yep, with Coach Ahern.
Okay, go ahead.
And that was 16 and 17. I was in St. John's, and then 18 I went over. 17 and 18 I went over to Colts Neck.
Mm-hmm.
I might be getting that wrong. I think 18 and 19 because COVID's throwing me off. So then the COVID year comes, and that's when Coach Mike Albert took over the St. John Vianney team, and he was looking for an offensive coordinator. And I actually reached out to him to see if there was any opening. So I reached out to him. I got the position 2 years ago. I was over St. John's as the OC. Last year I took over as DC.
That's awesome.
Today now running St. John Vianney's, hoping to build it to the tradition we had back in 16 and 17.
I love hearing that. You know, all your stops, I see you smiling, and we talked in the past. You appreciate every one of your stops. You also, the thing that I think is remarkable is you coached offense and defense. You coordinated both. So you are 100% prepared with the coaches that I'm going to talk about in a second, and being an OC and DC. So you were the head coach of the offense, head coach of the defense at different times. And not too many coaches can say that, Coach.
No, yeah. So when I actually 2-3 years ago, when there was the opening in Howell, I applied for that position. That's when Coach Edgerly took over that program. So I reached out to Coach Meehan, who was actually one of my former coaches, just to ask how I did on the interview. What do I need to do to get better to be in the position I'm at today? And that's what he told me. He's like, get more coordinator position experience, because if you can be an offensive coordinator, you control the offense, you can control the defense. Now, if you can put it together, you understand on how to control an entire program, and that's where I'm at today. And I thank all my coaches, and I thank Coach Meehan for teaching me that and getting me to where I'm at.
Coach, I'm smiling because the list of names that you said, I know and I respect. I mean, going down the order, Coach Petruzzi, I mean, he does so much for the Shore Conference Football Coaches Association. He coached under Coach Generelli, and I remember when he was a D coordinator, and then they gave him the job.
He was my D coordinator.
And all of a sudden, he won a state championship there, and he was darn good. And Bob Generelli's a good friend of mine, and he always spoke highly of Coach Petruzzi. And I always said, you can't be a head coach if nobody gives you the chance. And then Coach Karlstrom, he came along, I believe, when I first started varsity football, 2006. He came from Maryland, I think it was.
Yeah, right, to Homedale.
Oh, yep, to Homedale. And he's got a lot of experience too. He's been in a lot of places, so you got some experience there. Coach Damien's a really good friend of mine. When he was coaching at Monmouth University, and then when he came to Keansburg, you got a college football-minded guy at Keansburg right away. He had all those ideas, and then Coach
that was a good thing. Sorry, I'm cutting you off, but Coach Damien, it was great working with him because, again, like you said, he brought that college aspect.
Yeah.
And then with me came Coach Wambo, and then we also had Coach Bird, who was the head coach the past couple of years there. So we had a good little staff there, and we were young, and we were ready to roll over there. And we did a good job over there. Not as great as Coach Bird done in the past couple of years, but we did pretty well over there. And now look where we all are at, and we're having a successful.
Coach Damien would be that college guy I would be calling up. So I would be asking him questions to get stuff done. When he became the head coach, I remember he calls me up and says, how do you teach the high school player to do this? Because it is a little different. Talking to high school or college guys. But Coach Damien's a great guy now. He's at Raritan doing a great job there. Coach Portella at RBC, I mean, he was a loyal defensive coordinator and then became a head coach, won a state championship. That had to be great coaching with him. Derek Sininsky, right? Coach Nascimento, who's now at Donovan Catholic. Two good guys that had a great run at St. John Vianney. Great run. 31-3, right? That's pretty good, right?
It's
30,
a
probably
lot to
what,
live up to.
you know, you did that. And then, and now you're with Coach Ahern, who's doing a great job at Colts Neck. So you got guys that been coordinators and then became head coaches and successful coordinators and head coaches. So you just, and now you're on St. John Vianney where you're at, and you live in a dream.
No, yeah, and that was like, again, all my friends, they still laugh and make fun of me about being all these places, but I've worked with so many great coaches, great different personalities, and different ways that they coach. I took in, and hopefully that's what I can give back to St. John's and to these kids of this program now and in the future.
I would love that because usually it takes 3 years for people to say, "What an idiot this dude is." After 2 years, you leave. Nobody knows, your faults, and then you go to the next person, and you reestablish yourself. That would be the perfect scenario for me. Why didn't I think of that? Instead, I stayed at Barnegie for 18 years, and they were like, "Come on, man, it's 12 years too late. Why isn't he leaving?" But I would have loved to have gone to all these places and say, "Yeah, you're not going to know all my quirky things because it takes 3 years to know, right?"
Yeah,
But
exactly.
good
So
for you,
that's how
man.
good, because this is my third year at St. Well, technically my third year at my third stint
That's
at St.
impressive resume. That really is an impressive resume. It really is. And you're going to bring all of those. I always say that you're a product of all the coaches. Everywhere you go, you take something from somebody. You just do. And I'm
No, yeah,
sure that you go through down there and go, you know what? Maybe I like the way he addresses the team. Maybe the way he breaks down film. Maybe the way he talks to administration. You took a little bit of everybody. And I guarantee you, your personality is different now than it was back in the
oh,
first.
100%. And again, I thank all these guys because they're the ones who taught me to be who I am today as a coach. And from Pop Warner till now, Coach Generelli at the high school level, Coach Ski at the high school level, all those guys taught me to be who I am today, and I'm thankful for that because it got me to where I'm at.
Coach, I remember when I had my first all division meeting. I walk in there. I have Vic Cabot to my right. Okay, I got Bob Generelli. How you doing, Coach Generelli? I got John Amiable. Okay, that's complaining about the officials from Week 6, who I love to death. I had Dan Duddy. I just had just a wealth of guys that I had that really helped me out when I was a younger coach. And to this day, I still talk to Coach Generelli every other week. I really do. But that's great to have somebody like that in your back pocket too. And those
No,
guys,
yeah.
I know for a fact, every one of those guys would take a phone call from you.
Oh, 100%, and that's what it's about, and that's what I'm trying to teach our kids about. It's about the family. It's not about now. It's not about the 4 years or 3 years they're with us. It's about the next 25 to 30 years after us that we want to build and keep having that relationship.
Great, Coach. That was a great process story. I really like that, and I'm sure that everybody that's going to watch this tomorrow is going to love it too. Let's get ready to talk St. John Vianney football. You ready? Let's go.
Ready.
Let's go. I'm going to take this off, and never again do I ever want to wear that darn mask ever. We're normal, back to normal as best as we could. Those poor seniors that are seniors right now in your program have not had a normal off season in 2 years. So when they were freshmen going to be sophomores was the first time they were normal again, lifting their routines, their rituals, leading into 7-on-7s. You become the head coach this season in the first normal off season. Tell us what a normal off season is going to be at St. John Vianney in your program.
So yeah, like you said, the past 2 years been really tough for St. John's and for pretty much all the programs around the nation.
Right.
So it is good to be back. It is great not to be wearing a mask indoors, outdoors, and being able to see the smiling faces, the frowning faces, and sometimes now the exhausting faces because we're pushing them and making them work. But the all season at St. John's is we luck out. We have a really good strength and conditioning coach, and Coach Hernandez, who been here for now probably almost 10 to 12 years as
one of the best, Coach. One of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, he is, and he's a Montclair guy too. So he's one of us Mooses from way back in the day.
Yeah.
So it is good to have him, and the kids really respond to him. And the hardest part that we had, probably like all the other programs have, for me talking to all the different coaches around the shore, was getting these kids to truly buy in. when I was back with Colts Neck, we were in the weight room all the time. Those kids were always in the weight room, always pushing themselves to get stronger. And then
Mm-hmm.
I come to St. John's in 2020, and we're not even allowed to be by each other. We had to be 6 feet apart and be in our pods, and that was very tough for probably all of us coaches, but it really helped us as coaches to build
One
together.
second. I watched Coach Hernandez's social media that he was introducing working out during the COVID, and that guy was so creative with cement blocks with what do you call it, with a stick, and the guys were lit. He was had the, you know, he was showing the guys what you could do to be creative to get workouts. I remember doing it. I didn't do it myself. I just watched it,
Yeah, me
but
neither.
he that
I
guy
still have
knows
my
that guy
coaches.
knows how to motivate and be creative with his workouts.
No, and that's a good thing because our kids do buy in. We had a really good off season this year with kids. Obviously, we have kids playing multiple sports from basketball to wrestling. A lot were doing track. We have lacrosse and baseball in the spring, so a lot of kids were doing that. But they were still getting their lifts in. We actually made time for them. A lot of kids were working too, where we were just asking. There's no punishment for it. It's the off season. If you can get there, great. We know you're working. We know you're playing multiple sports. We're advocates on that.
Yes.
But kids were coming up and saying, Coach, I can't get my lift in because by the time I get home, I'm doing my homework. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. What can I do? And I said, you know what? If that's the case, we'll wake up. We'll wake up at 5 a.m. We'll get into the gym at 6 o'clock. We'll get ready at school and we'll get going. So we were there. We were working out with the kids at 6 a.m. while half of the other kids that weren't playing a multiple sport are working. We're lifting with Coach Ed at
I
2,
saw that.
2:30
Yeah.
at school. So that was real good for us because we were able to get our lifts in. Even if we were separated a little bit, we were still there working together.
Yeah.
And then now it's the summer workouts. We had our mini camp. We did the mom at 7-on-7, and now
Mm-hmm.
we're 3 days a week after it. So, and the kids are buying in, and that's what it's about. It's about the kids buying in and going and being there as a team. And from my playing years to even my coaching years, like that's where you build that bond. You don't build it on Friday nights. You don't build it on Saturday afternoons. It's in that weight room every day and in the summer workouts, building that bond that you're going to have for the rest of your life.
Yeah, putting a penny in the bank every day, and then you cash it in later on for all that stuff. Yeah, I did notice that. I did see that you had those workouts on your Twitter. Tell them to come early morning. How long were the workouts for?
So we got there around 6:15. They were probably done by 7:15. Showered, ready for class by 8 o'clock.
Okay,
So
nothing better than getting a workout in the morning done, and then you have the whole day to yourself.
yeah, it was good. It was a good 45 to an hour workout, and the kids bought into it. We had a lot of kids coming in the morning. Obviously, after a week or two, you had some kids saying, "Oh, I don't know if this is for me,"
Yeah.
but you had the kids that bought in and that were there all the time, and obviously the kids that couldn't wake up, they went in the afternoon, and then the kids that needed to wake up, they were there, and we were working. If it was
I
that
did.
sick
I
work,
did. 1 year we called it the Champions Club, and we came in at 5 in the morning, like the lights not even out. And why do we do it? Because when you're a champion, nobody else is doing what you're doing. So we
yeah,
guaranteed that nobody was up at 5 in the morning on the field, screaming, yelling, going crazy, and having fun, and knowing that you accomplished something that nobody else is doing out there. That was
no,
something.
exactly, and that's what I said to the kids. It's about listen. While other kids are sleeping, you're working right now. You're getting after it. You're trying to get better for the fall, and that's what it's about.
Good. And your off season for next year, it's only going to get easier. The next year is going to get easier, and you'll have different ideas. All right, now, coach, your first year high school head football coach, your coaching staff, which you know is very, very important because you were one of those loyal assistant coaches. Now, I want to hear about your coaching staff, St. John Vianney, for the 2022 season. Guys that you were so excited about when we talked on the phone. Let's hear some names of them.
So yeah, we have some familiar names from that been part of the staff either the past couple of years to way back in 2018 and even 2010 with Coach Ed Hernandez as our strength coach. He'll be coaching running backs and linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mike Alberg, who was actually our head coach last year. He stepped down because he's also our athletic director, so it allows him to still coach, but at the same time do his other
Yeah.
duties at St. John Vianney's as well. So I call him my athlete because he's going to be our versatile guy, working with a bunch of different groups when we need it. We have Coach Dan Fierro. Coach Dan Fierro will be coaching our receivers, defensive backs. He's also our offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He took over the offense last year. A couple of the new guys, we have Ryan Waltz. He was actually my freshman coach. And how I got him was we went as a Raritan alumni last year. We went to the sectional state championship game at Raritan, and I bumped into him. And from watching it with him, he's like, "Coach, I'm getting the itch again." And I was like, "Well, let me know if I get a position open at St. John's, and I'll try to bring you in." And now, as the head coach, the first guy I called, Coach Waltz, I was like, "Are you interested?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you want me to coach?" And I said, "You're coaching quarterbacks like you did back in 2003 to 2004 for us at the state championship with Andrew Mandeville." So we brought him back in. Coming back is also Mark Albert. This is actually Mike's son that we had on staff last year, coaching our defensive backs. Big help to me last year with different coverages and being my eye in the sky. So it's great to have him back. Coach Derek DePasquale. Everyone should know him if they watch this because he's part of the Shore Report. He did a lot of the stuff last year with you, I know. He'll be coaching.
Well, he did the game. He did the picks of the week, and he was always wrong. So it was great. He made me look good. So great.
That's not what he always said. And he's a North Jersey guy. He's like, "Why is the North Jersey guy winning right now?" I was like, relax. It's all about the Shore. Remember that. But so so he's coming from RBR a couple years back with Coach Schumann. He was over there. Now he's helping us over here offensively, defensively. And then everyone knows this good looking guy, Shannon Holy's coming over from Modern Day.
Yeah, good hire.
Offensive line. So yeah, it's great to have him. I have a lot of respect for him. And once he found out that I got the position, I got a call, and I was like, "Come on over, man. It will be great to have you in the black and yellow."
Oh yeah.
So, he's doing a fantastic job these past couple of weeks already with the offensive line, so it's nice to have him on board. So that's our varsity JV staff. We actually have 4 guys for our freshman program, which is very hard to have. Usually you have 1 or 2, possibly 3. We got 4 great coaches. We got Lou Libidor. He'll be taking over as our head coach at the program. He's been around for a very long time with that program. He used to run it with Ryan Lucas back in the day and Mike Morgan. Now stepping in for Brian Lucas is actually his son, Tyler Lucas, who actually was part of our team back in 2011 and 12 went under Coach Karlstrom. So it's nice to have alumni come back and be part of the program. So he'll be coaching our running backs and linebackers at the freshman level. We have Andrew Pender. He was with the Warriors last year, the New Jersey Warriors. I got him on board. He'll be coaching our offense and defensive line for our freshman level. And then we got another alumni, actually, Paul Coca. I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. He's going to yell at me tomorrow. I call him Coco, but it's Paul Coca-Corello, I believe. I always pronounce his name wrong. But he was actually a quarterback his freshman year when Edie Brown was the quarterback in 2015. He then left, I know, and went to St. Joe's, I believe he went to. But he called me, he wanted to come back, be part of the program, and be part of the community, be coaching our quarterbacks and defensive backs at the freshman level. So we have a really good staff. We have a mix of high and low, meaning young and old. I'm not going to say who's the old guy on our staff, but he knows who I'm talking about right now. So, but no, it's a good staff, and we for the 3 weeks, well, more than 3 weeks, but the 3 weeks we've been on the field together, it feels like we've been coaching for the past 10 years together. So, and that's what it's about. It's about that what's the word I'm looking for? It's that connection that we have already before we even get there on game day or even summer camp. And the kids see it, the kids feed off of it. And we've been having a great 3 weeks these past 3 weeks. So I'm excited to see what the future holds in this.
I love this segment, hearing coaches talk about their coaching staff, because, you're only as good as your coaching staff. Now, Coach, here's the thing. Administration saw you working your tail off. And we see this in the NFL. A guy is a D coordinator. He becomes the head coach. So the Jets hire a guy who's a D coordinator. He becomes the head coach. And what does he do? I'm not the coordinator anymore. Well, that's why we got you, because we loved you as a coordinator. Now, in the high school level, you were a D coordinator. Are you delegating your responsibilities where you're not going to be in that same role now? Or you're going to dual it, like you're going to be the head coach and the coordinator, or you're delegating?
I'm taking the defense. I love coaching defense.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been an offensive guy my whole life, and when I got that itch last year coaching the defense for the first time like that, I love it. And I am an offensive guy, but I like being a psycho. I like having fun and being crazy and being what we call black shirts. The white shirts, I'll keep to Dan and to those guys over there. But the defense, that's my baby, and I
Good.
love coaching it. Obviously, there's going to be a time where I'm going to have to truly step back and let someone take it over and
Right.
be part of everything. But yeah, I'm helping out offensively too, obviously. But the defense is my baby. Defense is my
That's the
championship.
one
So
thing
that's
I
what I'm
couldn't
about.
let go, coach. When I was the head coach, I had to be the offensive coordinator, and I just that's who I am. I'm not very good at delegating. As I got older, I delegated a little bit more, but it wasn't a
Yeah,
reflection of the coaches. It was more me. That's the way I like to do things and kind of set the table up for everybody. But that's really a nice staff, coach. A good blend of youth and veteran, and let's just leave it at that. We won't say who's who. We all know who they are, right?
exactly.
The ones that are watching the video with the glasses real close to the video, you're the old dudes. All right, good. The ones that are watching the
Yeah,
video with their rap music blasting, you're the young dude. All right, coach, let's talk St. John Vianney football schedule. To the left and on the right is that division, the Independence division. You and I will kind of go back and forth quickly about that, but you take this schedule right here to the left, coach. Talk a little bit about it.
all right. So obviously now our schedule changed a little bit from a couple
I
weeks
noticed
ago.
that. Yeah.
We got a call. I got a call from Coach Lang from RBC
Mm.
saying that they needed a team to play at the battle at the beaches in Ocean City. So as a first year head coach, I jumped on it right away. It's a great way for our team to be seen nationwide and especially in the state of New Jersey. So yeah, first week we're playing the number one team in the shore and one of the better teams in the state with RBC, which is our
Mm-hmm.
it's it's one of our rivals. So you can't open up a season better than that. Hopefully we're going to be pretty prepared for them. We're going to throw some whistles at them. We're going to throw some kitchen sinks at them. And again, it's a rivalry game, so there's going to be punches thrown at us, and we're going to give punches right back at them. And
Good.
I'm excited for it, and I know Coach Lang and those guys are too because we've been talking about it. So that's going to be a fun game for us. We were supposed to open up week one, which was another exciting thing for me because it was my old team, which now turns into at Colts Neck week two for us. Technically, it's week one, but it's week two for us now
Mm-hmm.
with Coach Ahern and they're what they do with that program. He built that program up to what it is today, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be a fun game because it's one of my mentors that I get to coach against. So next we open up. After that, we have Homedale. That's another fun game for me because I was a Rocket, so that's one of our rivals back in my day. And actually, my old coordinator, Coach Principi, is still over there. So I have ties over there as well with Coach Rains and everything. Great guy, doing a great job with that program over there as well, building that to what it is now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have our first home game. Finally, we're away a lot. Then we open up at home with Monmouth Regional. It's not another team you should sleep on because it's a well coached team over there as well. So we'll be prepared, ready for them for our first home game. Hopefully, it's a good one for us. After that, we have a tough program where we're home again against Manasquan. Manasquan's a very great program. It's been well known back from the Kaboo era to now. So our schedule's not easy. I should say
No, not at
it's a
all.
tough schedule. Uh, Next, we go on Saturday. We play Coach Delgado and the Mustangs over in Marlboro. So that's going to be a fun game because that's one of my best friends in the Shore Conference. So if you notice, there's a lot of ties to these teams with me and the
Yeah.
coaches and everything
Yeah.
like that. So it's going to be a fun rivalry between a lot of these teams. And then after Coach Delgado and the Mustangs come my Rockets. So having the Rockets come to St. John's, where I get to coach against one of my former coaches. Some of my former teammates from our '04 state championship team are over there. Coach Dempsey, Coach Nunes, all those guys. So that's going to be a fun game as well.
Mm-hmm.
We get a week off after that. After getting beat up a little bit, we get a week off. And then hopefully, come Point Borough, it's a divisional championship game where it's us versus Point Borough for the championship. for the last week of the season, which will then lead into our playoffs.
Well, that leads into the Independence Division talk right now, and Coach, there's some good teams in there, and you included in that mix. So the other teams are talking about you, just like we're going to talk about them right now. And let's just go right down, just real quickly, and all this. But wow, you're talking about Point Borough, who is the defending South Jersey Group 2 state champs. Coach, then you have Raritan, who lost in the state finals. You have Manasquan, who they lost in the state semifinals. Monmouth, who won division championship in the lower division last year. Homedale, who played up and was playing some juggernauts out there. And then you add yourself included in there. That's a black and blue division, Coach.
It is. It is. And you know what? There's going to be teams we beat. There might be teams we lose to, but you know what? I feel it's going to be like that with the whole division. So who knows who will win this? Hopefully it's us. We're going to be preparing to win every game like we always do. But again, Monmouth, Raritan, Point Borough, you got Manasquan and Homedale. These are hard-nosed football teams, including us. So it's the best man wins, and it's going to be a fight and a dog fight each and every week against these teams.
And Coach, may I add your non-conference of Red Bank Catholic, Colts Neck, and Marlboro? They're all top 20 teams in the Shore. You got a very good schedule, meaning strength to make a run in the state playoffs if you can get some of those wins, because you're going to get a lot of points, a lot.
No, 100%. And the good thing about this schedule, it truly prepares us for the state playoffs, because when we go up with the North Jersey teams, or if they're coming to us, it's going to prepare us for that dogfight that we need to do to win and get to where we want to be.
Yeah, you're right. Like you said, or they come to you. I love when you said that, because you got me going. I think that you have the athletes to draw teams to you. I think that you guys are in the driver's seat. You guys are going to be aggressive this year, and I think that you guys are going to win a lot of games this year with the excitement of your players. I really do. Coach, can you tell us what you guys are going to run offensively and defensively in your first year with your schemes?
Yeah, so offensively, we're going to change it up. We're going wing tee. No, I'm joking. We're not going wing tee. Yeah. We're changing the little things, but we're not changing really that much.
Now you're a head coach. Now you're a head coach. You're going to tell people you're wing tee and change it, and you're going to use the word. You're going to use the word multiple. Everybody always goes, "We're multiple this, we're multiple that." I'm like, oh man. But go ahead.
No, I'll keep it simple. We're more of a pistol team. We'll be in more of a pistol formation. Obviously, yes, we'll be in our 21s, our 10s, and our 11s. But pretty much we're going to be our pistol with our quarterbacks that we have. We have 3 great quarterbacks that can do different things. 4 great quarterbacks, actually, because we have a quarterback too. I'm just talking about my seniors right now.
Oh, yeah.
They get the love. But yeah, so we have 3 great senior quarterbacks. One's a big guy, pocket, can run that power football. We have another one who's the RPO, and we have another one is the brains that can pick apart a defense. So it's going to be tough, and they're all 3 of them, and the sophomore quarterback Ryan are competing right now for that starting position. And like I said to them, and like now I'm saying to you guys, it's their job to win it. We're competing. Everyone on our team's competing for a starting spot. There are no starting spots on this team. Yes, I've been there for the past 2 years, but this year it's a new staff, it's a new regime, and they need to compete to win, and that's what they're doing for these spots. So it could be Antonio, it could be Mike, it could be Aaron, and it could be Ryan starting for us come August 27th. It's their job to pick it, and their job to want it. So offensively, yeah, we'll be pistol, we'll be running our RPOs, we'll be running the football, and obviously with our great set of receivers and tight ends, we'll be throwing the ball as well. So
yeah, Coach, you have this many quarterbacks. There is nobody in the Shore that has a 1 to 4 that I'm like, wow, that are pretty. But you know what I like about them? They can play different positions. They can play different positions. Those kids. Hey, you're not quarterbacking right now. Well, this guy's getting reps. Go play receiver. Go play tight end. Go play that. I like that. They're very, very multiple.
Well, and that's the thing. Those 4 are great athletes, and like you said, they can play multiple positions. If it's Foley at tight end, if it's Aaron at the slot, if it's Antonio at the slot running back, and even Ryan at receiver, and they all play defense. Last year, when I took over the defense as defensive coordinator, the first thing I said I said my quarterbacks are playing defense for me this year, and they did a great job. Aaron was all division safety for us. Foley stepped in at linebacker, and Antonio, when we needed nickel, would lock up on the
Coach
slots and play.
Antonio at wide receiver. I was like, oh my God, he's he's good at receiver. I mean, he really is. I'm not trying to manipulate what you got, but he was pretty good in the 7-on-7s at receiver.
Oh yeah, and those guys will be playing. If they're not playing quarterback, we need them on the field.
Oh, yeah.
They're four great athletes, and in order to win, you need your athletes on the field. So having one play quarterback, and unfortunately there is only one quarterback, and keeping the others on the sideline, that hurts us more than it helps us. So these guys will be playing multiple positions and helping us out this year. So I'm excited for the offense, and it's clicking for the past couple weeks. So it's looking good.
Good.
Next.
Yep.
Is defense. So defense, we're more of a 4-3 style team, too high. We will be switching it up depending on who we're playing. We have a lot of different offensive and personality that we're playing this year offensively. So we'll be switching it up a lot. Last year we switched up from a 4-3 to a 3-3 to a 4-2 to a
really?
3-4 style defense. So and it all intertwines. We have two DNs that we have that are very hybrid for us, that can work and play outside linebacker, that can drop into pass coverage, and as well as rush quarterback. So, and with our interior defensive line, we have some big boys up there. We have a great squad of 6 to 7 guys that rotate in every play to keep them fresh and ready to go. So yeah, we'll be more of a 4-3 style, but we'll mix in a lot of different formations and fronts this year.
Coach, now we're going to talk my favorite segment. It's top position groups for each team, where I break down each team and I figure out what are the position groups that are the strengths of offense, defense, special teams. And here's what I saw about St. John Vianney. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think your offensive strength is your receivers and tight ends. And let me tell you why. You got a lot of interchangeable pieces. I love Dylan Say, Kyle Varese. I mean, come on. I mean, add in the fact that Rosado was playing receiver too. Oh, my God. Foley, Marciello. I love the sophomore Nick Aglione and Jareth Griffin, a wide receiver. Just a couple of names that caught my eyes. I think that's your strength. I mean, what do you think?
We have a great core. These guys can obviously, they're quick, they run their routes, they're versatile, they're jet sweeps, so they're going to be doing a lot for us this year. And like you announced, there was 3 quarterbacks in there too, and those 3 quarterbacks are starting quarterbacks, or they're going to be our starting receivers. You also have Kyle Varius, you have Dylan Say, 6'6", 220-pound tight end for us. Not only can he play tight end, but he can also throw it down in basketball too. So he's a big guy, and he can move, which is a good thing to have. We have a couple newcomers coming on too to that core that I think could really help us. Like you said, you had Nico, Jack Farrer, who played running back for us last year, is moving to the slot. Nick Alam, Pearson Bark took the year off last year, coming back his senior year, and it looks better than ever. So there's a lot of great guys out there that we have that we can move around to keep fresh and get rolling right away. So.
Nice. Now going to defense, and you smile. Every time I say the word defense, you got that grin on you, right? Is your D lineman. You do have a lot of, I saw it was 5. You're telling me 7. I want to know who that 6'7" is, but you have 5, 6, 7 interchangeable D linemen. Tell me about that group.
So obviously we have our DNs that, like I said before, that are more of our hybrid DNs and linebackers, which is nice. But our interior linemen, it's what it's all about. They're the ones that are going to be setting the tone for us this year. We have Matt DeFelice. Sorry, I'm choking right now. You have Matt DeFelice.
At your nose.
Andrew Chemo. You have Andrew Chemo. You have Timmy O'Dowd. You have Miles on the interior, who started for us last year. You have, oh my God, I can't keep forgetting people. You have Chris. Sorry, I'm saying Chris.
Ryan Buchanan.
You also have Anthony Manning, who was a freshman last year, going to be a sophomore this year. So we have a lot of good sized guys that are going to be coming back and playing that interior for us. So there's 7 guys right there just playing 2 positions, staying fresh and getting ready to roll.
Awesome. That's good to know. And then your special teams, I think it's your returners. I mean, Your punt returner, kick returners. I think your special teams strength is your returners with Kyle Varese, Rosado. You could say Marcelo. He's fast.
Yeah, Marcel's another fast one. You have Jarrett Griffith.
Yeah.
He's going to be our sleeper this year. He's like his brother was a couple of years ago for us, returning kicks for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of good young guys that people aren't going to recognize and going to think like, let's not kick it to Antonio or Kyle, and they're going to be kicking it to Marcelo and Griff, and they're going to be taking it back to the house like we were a couple of years ago with CJ.
All right, Coach. Now you get to talk about your top returning players and guys that get you, smiling at night, knowing that you're going to see them practicing the next day. And I'm telling you right now, Coach, what I'm doing when you coaches talk, I'm taking so many notes of when you say a guy's name and a technique, and I'm writing this down. I mean, here I am right here. I take more notes here than I ever did in college, in my 12 years at college, my 12, right? But I take so many notes, like you wouldn't believe. But I love hearing it, what you guys take. So I kind of can do some studies on it. So look, take us to now who your top players are for this season, offensively, defensively, and returners, whatever.
Yeah, so we have a lot of returners, actually, a lot of senior returners. We have, let's see here, 18 seniors coming back from last year, which is a great group of kids we have. It's rare to get that. Yeah, so that's pretty much two squads right there. We can literally split them up almost and have an offense and a defensive team there. And the greatest part about it all, they're all great kids.
Yeah.
Their average GPA is at 3.75 for all of them. We had a lot of schools coming in to talk to them this year just because of the grades alone, which is a big thing for us at St. John's. So that's nice to have. And the best part is they're all leaders, and they're all there for each other. So those 18 seniors alone, it's great to have them. I'm not going to mention every single one because to me they're a core, and that's how I'm going to leave it there. With them, we also have a lot of young guys coming. We named before Nico, Jaden, that are going to be sophomores this year. Nico is going to be playing tight end. He had a great spring volleyball season, actually, as a freshman, starting on the varsity volleyball. So there's another multi-sport athlete. Jaden Griffith is going to be probably our top returners this year, meaning kickoff and punt returners, having him in the slot. We have a kid, sophomore, Dirk Hornikirk. He was a freshman last year, really shined this year for us already in the Mom at 7-on-7.
Who was it? Who was it, Coach?
Dirk Hornikirk.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I got him. Yeah.
K-I-R-K. So he's another great sophomore to have. I mentioned before Anthony Manning, probably one of our stronger kids on our team, pound for pound. He's only a sophomore, and he's like a bull. He's like a bull in a china shop when he gets in that weight room, and I'm excited to see what he does in the interior for us on the defense. So those are a couple sophomores. We have obviously a sophomore, Ryan Vallely, who's our competing for the quarterback position. Another kid who's going to help us this year, Dom Tacciano. He was a great wrestler for us this past couple of years, looking to run the ball for us and help out Declan Cross. Sorry, I'm choking a little bit.
I'm a Jet fan. I'm used to choking. I'm a Jet fan.
Yeah. So. Don't worry, I'm a Cowboys fan. So
well, then you're definitely used to choking. So
yeah, hopefully my spot's not like that. Obviously, another junior, Ryan Buchanan, Miles Bird Rice, two young guys for us last year, played defense, helping us out this year on the offensive side too. So we have a lot of good young guys too coming up. Deion Jackson played a lot for us last year at DN. So there's a lot of young names I just mentioned there in our sophomore junior class that are really going to help build that program with the seniors that we have this year. And then obviously we had so far 25 freshmen come to the past 2 weeks of practice, which is a great thing to have for a freshman program moving forward for this program. So it's great to have, especially last year. We only had 9 freshmen last year. Unfortunately, we didn't have a freshman team. We had a freshman sophomore team. So from going from 9 to 25, it's already it's a great thing for this program, and I'm excited for it.
I got one question. I hear it all the time. I've seen it film, and they definitely impress me. But the Buchanans, the one who went to Delaware, and now you have two of them on
Yeah,
the same field at the same time. I know they're physical, aggressive kids and gentlemen off the field too. Um, how they bring the intensity, right?
yeah, they're good. They have that intensity that Johnny brought for us back in 2016 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
Just born leader. That entire family, and they're such a great family too. Just sometimes we as a staff we like to go see our kids play at the next level. Going down to Delaware and seeing Johnny play. Last year we saw JMU versus Delaware, so we saw Chris
Great.
Jurkanowicki against Johnny, which are two of our former players,
Mm-hmm.
and just seeing them. Their Mrs. Buchanan, it's like seeing your mom and dad and just welcome you into their family. And that's what it's about at St. John's and obviously other schools too. But
Mm-hmm.
it's great seeing that, especially that sorry,
Yeah.
the Buchanan family. They just do such a great job with those boys, and there's actually a fourth one too that hopefully he'll be at Vianney in a couple of years as
What
well.
year is he?
I believe he is a seventh grader now, if I'm correct.
You probably have
So
every school right now in the whole state going, all right, call up the seventh grade principal, get
yeah,
his information because the Buchanans are football players, man. They really are tough. And you got two of
they
them.
are.
You got two of them.
That's a football family, and we're excited to have them be a part of our program.
That kid's going to get a lot of. He's going to walk in first day of school, and be like, "These 12 schools called for your transcripts. Which college? No high schools."
Yeah, exactly.
um, Coach, you got a lot of pieces, and you know that you have a lot of pieces. Great kids, too. It really helps in your first year to have a good character people in your locker room too. When you're building your program, this is the norms that we're doing. How has it been? Has it been fun, or is it going so fast you can't enjoy it?
No, I definitely have been enjoying it. We had practice today, having a great time. We try to let Thursdays be a little bit more loosey goosey. I'm very old school. I learned it from Ski generally and all my coaches. Shirts tucked in. Yes sir, no sir. Eye contact when you're talking to
Yeah.
someone. Make sure when you're walking past admin, you walk out of your way, go shake their hands, and say hello. So our biggest thing this year is we want to work together as one. And you guys probably see the hashtags all the time with our page. It's hashtag together as one. And then the biggest thing is hashtag apply discipline because we want to apply discipline on the field, off the field, in the locker room, and then in our community as well. So
Yeah.
that's our big thing.
That carries
that's
off. That carries onto the field too. Discipline in the hallways. You're disciplined in the hallways. You'll be disciplined on 3rd and 3. A snap count change. You're not jumping off sides, or you're making the right play because you're detailed, Coach. I'm excited.
No, yeah,
I'm excited for you. I really am, and I know a lot.
thank you.
And listen, you have a lot of coaches probably rooting for you too. All those former coaches that you coached for are going to be rooting for you, saying, "That's my guy. That's my guy." All pumped up with that. So you got a lot to look forward to. And now the season's coming in, and no more this honeymoon period that you're the new head coach. You're
No,
in there.
that ended.
Yeah, that ended real quick, right?
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. And you guys need anything, the Short Football Report will always be there for the Lancers. Always will.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate that very much.
All right, this will be on tomorrow morning. Pump it out. Let's see how many views you guys get. Let's see how excited you guys really are. Can you break the 400 views? We'll see.
I'll try. I'll push it. I'm going to push this. So.
We'll see, Coach. I will talk to you soon. All right.
Okay.
Best of luck to you. All right, now we are going to talk to the St. John Vianney senior players. We got up top, please wave your hand. Dejan Cross, the running back safety. Down below on the left, Andrew Chemo, the offensive tackle, defensive tackle. And down below to the right, we have Aaron Ventries, quarterback, free safety. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
I'm telling you right now, I'm excited about what's going on at St. John Vianney. I saw you guys in the 7-on-7. Bunch of you guys came up and started talking to me too. I just love the personalities on your team. And of course, I love the athletic ability and the excitement that's going on your sidelines. I really do. What do you guys think?
We've been working really hard to just fix our mistakes and problems from last season and try to have a better season get the guys together, and just do what we can to win.
All right, I promised you 10 to 12 to 15 maybe minutes. 5 questions. You don't know what I'm going to ask. It won't hurt. We're going to have some fun with it. So let's get going. All right. First question, gentlemen, that I want to know, the Short Football Report wants to know about St. John Vianney is what player in your program keeps it real with his humor, makes you guys laugh, keeps you guys nice and calm and just relaxed and having fun. The guy then when Coach Papcun walks into the room, you guys got to stop giggling because that player was making you all laugh before the coaches came in. I want to hear who keeps it real with the humor.
Probably Kyle Varias or Elijah Portales. Those two, a lot of personality between the two.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Kyle for sure. He's always high energy. He's always screaming everything, keeping people tuned in.
I love the expressions. You guys started smiling, and you didn't know if you were going to get one of the players in trouble. But me as a coach, I would always walk into in the room, and everybody would stop laughing. I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" No, don't worry about it, Coach. Don't worry about it. I loved hearing about it. Now that I'm not coaching, I want to hear what you guys are saying. So that's great. So Kyle, both Kyles are the clowns of the team, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Well, for the lineman, I would say Matthew D. Felice because I'm more with the lineman.
Oh.
He's a little jokester.
Little lineman humor is not bad either, right? Yeah, the way you're smiling, there must be some pretty good jokes. You probably can't tell half of them on the show, but that's fine. Number two, who is the leader when Coach Papcun has a message to be sent out? Who does he tell to tweet, to text, to call, to do the whole 9 yards? There's always one player that kind of keeps you abreast of all the news. What player does that for you guys?
Well, there's
absolutely, yeah.
Who's that?
Christian Buchanan.
McKenna?
Buchanan.
Oh, Buchanan? Good.
Yeah, he keeps everybody in line majority of the time. Yeah, but we all try to do our part in being leaders of the team.
Well, it's nice when you have somebody that echoes out what the coach wants, and then you guys can overlap and all that. So Christian, who's also a dynamic football player, is also takes the bulls by the horn and echoes out the message, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really great to hear. Good, because I'll have to use him when I want to spread the word to St. John Vianney too. Third question. All right, these things right here. Are you sick of wearing them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
My wife still makes me wear this because she says I look better with a mask on. But that's just another story. Normal, guys. You haven't had a normal offseason in 2 years. So basically, when you were a freshman in the offseason is when was the last normal offseason you had. Add to the fact you have a new head football coach, okay? The normal was different, but was it better to be back together where you could hug everybody and joke around in that locker room together for the first time in basically 2 years? How was it for you guys in the offseason?
It was definitely better. It helped our chemistry a lot. It helped us build up each other, and it helped us come more together as a team. Because last year we were more like, it was kind of weird because the all season with COVID and everything. Mm-hmm. But since we all got to come back together, chemistry is way better this year.
What do you guys think?
I remember sophomore year, they had us, like, our locker room was outside. We couldn't even go in the locker room.
It was behind the end zone.
Yeah. And, like, when we got there, first days of camp, we were throwing out, like, trash cans. Yeah. So there was no way to build chemistry with anybody. It wasn't a good time like it is now.
Yeah. I'm sure you're sick of your temperature checks and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing, man, doing all that stuff. But it was a tough time, not only for you guys, but for the coaches too. But you all were in it together. We all were in it. The whole world was in it together. And to knock on wood, hopefully we don't ever have to do that again, guys. Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Fourth question. I want to know this now. You have a new head coach. You guys are now 1 year older. What are the expectations in St. John Vianney right now with football? I want to hear from you guys.
Coach Pat, he expects a lot from us. He expects perfection out of us because he expects us to be young men, not young boys. So he holds us to a high standard.
Nice.
He makes us take a responsibility for what we do, but he also is a good coach, and his expectations are high this year.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Aaron?
I mean, he's always pushing the message that he's been pushing the message he wants the state title and everything, and he wants to get us to he wants our grade or our group that we have here now to start building the foundation for the program to become like a bigger program in the future, and not just like 1 year thing. He wants us to like have the building blocks down for the next grades who are coming up to help them proceed and be great.
I'm going to tell you one thing I like about the expectations that Coach Papcun has in a second after you answer the last one. And the last question I got for you from the Shore Football Report, I want to know, why is it special to play at St. John Vianney under Coach Papcun? Why is it special? Tell everybody out there, why is it very special to play under Coach Papcun at St. John Vianney? So I'm going to start with Aaron, the quarterback.
I mean, this is his first head coach that I'm pretty positive this is his first head coaching
Yes.
job ever. And we obviously got to work with him a lot last year.
Yep.
But it's like we're like his experiment right now for his first group that he has.
Yeah.
And I think we're definitely going to be good for him, a good group to experiment with for him. I think he's going to be able to he's been pushing the message that he wants us to keep working hard and everything, and he's a great leader. It's easy to get behind him. Awesome coach. And I think I'm it's like honor. I'm honored to be his first team that he's head coaching.
Awesome. How about you, Andrew? What do you think? Tell me, why is it special to play at St. John Vianney under Coach Papcun?
I definitely agree. I think overall, Coach Pap is just a great coach, let alone but just like a person. He it's more than football, honestly. Like he talks to us like we're like not like the same. We're equal, and like it just he makes it so that you want to put everything into it and just believe and work your hardest to get to where you want.
Nice. Dejan, you're going to finish it right here. You're going to end it right here. Tell us all what you like about the place at St. John Vianney under Coach Papcun.
Honestly, Coach Pap, he pushes the culture a lot at SJV. He pushes like the old SJV culture, and he holds us to such a high standard that it's hard not to want to be there. You know, it's like high energy, high level, high intensity. Everything is 100% at all times. It definitely feels like everybody's way more locked in this season. Everything feels way better.
I'll tell you what I think now of Coach Papcun and what I think is special at St. John Vianney. One thing he does an outstanding job is, first of all, he loves his players. It's obvious. And I knew him when he was a defensive coordinator. I knew it. And me being a head coach and seeing him, I knew he was going to be a head coach real soon. I love the way he promotes. He promotes his players. I love the social media aspect of it. When he would always give me his statistic things, he was so detailed to make sure that every player of his didn't go unforeseen by the Shore Football Report. So he does a great job with that, promoting behind the scenes. He really, really does. He doesn't have any boundaries of when he punches the clock in and out when he's a coach. He's a coach 24/7, and that's awesome. Yes, he's got a lot of energy. He's got a vision. And the way you guys were playing with him on the sidelines of the 7-on-7, watching you guys, communicate with your coaches and how you guys were playing was pretty nice to see. You guys were clicking, and you guys look like you're having fun, and that's the main thing. And don't let me mistake it. You have some talent too there. You got some talent there, right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't give up one sack in the 7-on-7. I like that. Were you there, Andrew?
Unfortunately, I wasn't.
Oh man, not one sack. It was a quarterback never fell to the ground. It was very impressive to see. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on here and representing St. John Vianney and talking a little St. John Vianney football. I always love to hear it from the player side. As a football coach, I want to always hear what you guys are thinking, because the most important thing is you guys. You know, we don't have high school football without high school players. So I want to wish you guys good luck. And if you guys ever need it, you guys ever need anything, you know where I'm at. I'm on the Shore Football Report .com. I'm a .com dude. And if you need anything, you give me a message, and you know I'm right there for you guys. All right. I'm rooting for you guys to do well on and off the field. All right.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.